he definitely stole the show whenever the moment called for it, or whenever that nigga Zeke was on the screen. Cause one thing Levi gonna do is smoke Zeke. There's one thing that nigga gonna do.
I've already came in.
The Attack on Titan ending, it was, yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
When you think of anime, you probably think of shows like Dragon Ball Z, Naruto, One Piece, Bleach, Hunter, etc. Over the years, we watched Attack on Titan get to the level of those shows to the point where you could put them in the same convo and people really couldn't blame you. Excuse the pun, but it's really one of the Titans of anime. No, let me stop playing. That was gross, my nigga. It's genuinely crazy to think that ALT is open now, though. This is actually like one of the first times that I've actually been there for the ending of a show. And I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of sad to see this one go. Man, cue up the intro, cue it up for the one time. Love it or hate it, for whatever reason, Attack on Titan will go down as one of the best anime ever, easily. This has been one hell of a journey, and some of my favorite moments in all of anime have come from this show. Attack on Titan has a really one-of-a-kind story that damn near every anime fan has had at least one good experience with. If they tell you they didn't, they're lying. This is going to be a pretty long-ass video, so get comfortable and pull up a chair. Let's chop it up. Today we're going to be talking about one of the greatest anime of all time, Attack on Titan. But before we get into it, as always, make sure you hit the like and subscribe button. I'm trying to hit a mill by yesterday. Also, hit the notification bell to know about my future analysis and review videos. So, you know how we do things around here. First, we start off with the story. Attack on Titan had one hell of a story, gang. I would actually go as far to argue that it had one of the most unpredictable, interesting, and engaging stories that all the fictional media I've consumed so far, which is a crazy statement. But the Attack on Titan story is so dynamic and the goals constantly change. It seemed like with every battle they went through, the scale of it and what was at stake only got bigger and bigger. I mean, think about how much this show has strayed off the original path and the original goals and values that the cast had. Our story follows a boy named Eren who lives in this universe where there are these supernatural beings called Titans. They're monsters that aimlessly attack and kill people. Titans invaded his place of living and ended up killing his mom right in front of him. And from that day on, he vowed to kill every Titan ever. And he joins the Survey Corps to carry out that mission. See what I mean? It's crazy how much shit changed since that was the case. But that's the thing, all of it is equally exciting and engaging. Most of the time when the goalpost is moved, and I say most of the time because there's one time that I think the exact opposite happened, it made sense. And it left me eager to see like what direction the show was going to go in. This is a longer show, so we're going to break it up into seasons and talk about each one individually, and we got help again. So once again, here's Shrimp Gang.
Yo, what's good? This is Matt. So I'm gonna start talking about some of my favorite moments from Attack on Titan, starting from season 1. So for season 1, my favorite moment is probably gonna be where Eren fought Annie right at the end of the season when they were inside of the inner walls. Like that fight was just done pretty well. It was also good to see Eren finally being able to like fight Annie, like, because he didn't want to fight her at first.
Season 1, my favorite moments from season 1. One of my favorite moments for sure was the first episode. First time I turned on Attack on Titan, it wasn't even like a recommendation or nothing. I just happened to stumble across it, I think on Netflix. And the first episode was so captivating. I just had to see what was next. First of all, Attack on Titan is like so different than any other anime I watch. I don't like mechs, but even though these are kind of like mechs, they're a little different. They just hit different for me than Mechazoids. So that first episode when the Colossal Titan pulls up over that wall, the Armor Titan blew through the wall, Shorty getting chomped. That first episode was so different. I had to see everything that was happening next.
Alright, man, it's your boy Josh, aka Durag Demon. Go ahead, give me a follow on the social medias, you know, Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, Durag Demon _. Appreciate it, love. Shout out to my boy Vaughn for another dope ass video we finna put out today. So we finna be talking about AOT. Let's get started with, you know, just at the top, season 1, right? So we get started. AOT busts off. Big ass Colossal Titan come up. Breaks down that motherfucker wall. Kick that bitch down like it ain't shit. Armor Titan breaks down another one. Shit was funny as hell. Eren mom gets fucking chomped like a motherfucker right in front of him and Mikasa. That shit was funny, I ain't gonna lie. A little fucked up, of course, but it still was funny nonetheless. It just was random as fuck, came out of nowhere type shit, right? So then, fast forward, we turn out Eren is a motherfucking Titan. Like, where the fuck this shit come from? right? So that was a pretty interesting plot twist because, you know, me, I don't know shit about the show when I'm watching it for the first time. Like, Aaron is a Titan, what the fuck? First off, he gets eaten. And I'm like, what the fuck? How you gonna eat the MC? Like, what type of shit is this show on type shit? And then nigga just comes up, start beating all the Titan ass. And I was with that shit, you know, I'm with that ass beating type shit. So that shit was busting, beating their ass, you know, going just crazy. Fuck these Titans on, bro. I agree, fuck them niggas. Then fast forward a little bit more, introduction of the female Titan. Big mystery who the female Titan is, whatever. I fucks with that because they had a whole Duke off figure as Annie, and then it's Eren versus Annie, and they just fighting, and Annie is whooping Eren ass because she just got the martial arts shit on lock, and she is beating his ass. Like, not even close. She got the crystallization shit. Like, she is beating that nigga ass. Almost ate that nigga type shit, you know. Cool, that's season 1.
Season 1 was pretty cool. It was a really good introductory stage for this show. In season 1, we got to see a lot of shit. We got introduced to how real shit was in this verse. We got introduced to the Titans. We got to see how powerless humanity actually was against them, and how little they actually knew about them too. We seen Eren's introduction to the Titans in probably the worst way possible, killing his OG right in front of him on some crazy shit. We got the first look at the Colossal Titan, which was this huge moment, and we got to see how the Titans weren't really the only threat in this world, because other people within the walls were on some bullshit too. The government and the leaders are absolute monsters in this world. Them niggas sent 20% of the population to reclaim Wall Maria and essentially sending them to their deaths because of a food shortage. That's crazy as hell. Season 1 is really what shit hits the fan, but we really still see like Eren's commitment to eradicating all the Titans no matter how hopeless the situation looked. We see him train and actually get into the Survey Corps, and this is when we meet most of the main cast of Bertolt, Reiner, Connie, Jean, Sasha, Annie. The battle of Trost is really goated in my opinion, I'm not gonna lie. So the humans are still pretty hopeless at this point, but this is where the dire situation actually kind of has some light at the end of the tunnel. First off, before I forget, that nigga putting that gun in his mouth and blowing his brains out was funny as hell. He loaded up that Dejuska and he smiled so hard at that gun, he was like, ah, there we go. And the other girl next to him was like, what's that gonna do against the Titans? His ass said, Titans? And blew his brains out. That was funny as hell. I would've did the same thing, I ain't even gonna lie. And the cool little twist, we got to see Eren turning into the thing that he hated the most, which was wild. We met Levi, we met Erwin, we met Anji, which are 3 really good ass characters in this show. We also get to see their reactions to Eren. They like, hey yo, this nigga is a Titan. And have a little conflict with him after he even saved everyone and shit. The second part of the Battle of Trost where he sealed the hole was hard too. Seeing him use Eren in the outside the walls mission was cool too. And this mission was another example of them not knowing that much about the Titans, even when they are in possession of a Titan, because this is when we meet the female Titan. Season 1 did a really good job at showing us how like treacherous it is and how in the dark they are about Titans altogether. I think they did a really good job on season 1.
For season 2, 1000%, the Reiner and Bertolt when they revealed that they were the Armor and Colossal Titans, like that was just a goated ass moment. It was really done like really well, and that's just kind of when the show just started turning up like all the way.
Now season 2, we showed up and see Eren. First off, season 2 had, I think, the introduction of the Beast Titan. We seen that he's the only Titan that can talk. This man was pulling up, having intelligent conversations. He scared the hell out this one dude, threw a horse at him like Shohei Ohtani. I've never seen such accuracy. That's also where we see Eren fight the Armored Titan using more of his brain. So that man knew like, folks got hella eczema on his body. There's no way he punches through that. Damn near impossible. So he started using throwing techniques to whip folks to the ground, tear off his limbs, and break off his armor. I really fuck with that. It showed like some nice hand-to-hand combat by these big buffoons.
Season 2, another good ass season. Get the introduction of the Beast Titan at the beginning. Really interesting Titan. Looked like a big ass fucking monkey. But you know, that's besides the point. You figure out that it's Titans in the wall. So it was a big ass plot twist. Ymir and the Jaw Titan, we get an introduction of more shifters. So this idea of shifters like Eren, Ymir, the Colossal Titan, the Armor Titan, and the Beast Titan. We got all these that we have seen so far. It's a pretty interesting concept. The few humans that can actually transform into a Titan. It's really cool because a lot of the Titans that we've seen so far are just like mindless, naked ass motherfuckers just walking around, just, you know, not mindless as hell. That's one of the big reasons that I didn't watch LT at first, was because I just saw a big ass group of naked Titans running around. Like, that's all I saw on the show. It was just a bunch of big ass naked ass Titans. I was like, why would I want to watch the show? That don't really seem appealing to me. So I held off for a while, but you know, I got back into it. Kind of got off track with that a little bit, but big ass plot twist in season 2, like big plot twist. When I tell you, my jaw dropped when we find out we on top of the wall, right? It's Eren chopping it up with Reiner and Berto. Reiner just come out of nowhere talking about some, oh yeah, by the way, I'm the Armor Titan and he's the Colossal. Oh, what? I lean in hard as hell. I'm like, what that subtitle say? Like, bro, that shit had me shook as hell. So that was a really good plot twist, because I leaned in about hard as fuck reading that damn subtitle. I'm like, what the fuck does that say? Man, they really had me with that shit for real. And then Eren and Reiner end up having a, good ass fight at the end of that season. Eren is getting his ass handed to him at first, like absolutely handed to him. But then he goes back in his mind, he think about, oh yeah, and he taught me a bunch of martial arts shit. So I'm gonna use that shit. Grabs his ass, slam that nigga, started just beating his ass from that point on. Just, Reiner didn't stand a chance. He was getting his ass whooped, like fucking whooped. He kept slamming that nigga, like breaking his joints, broke his arm off through that motherfucker. Like he was beating his fucking ass. The only reason that Reiner didn't get eaten right there is because Berto was on top of the mountain and he dropped his big ass down and just nuked that stupid ass. So that was pretty good. Season 2 was pretty juicy.
Season 2 hits. When season 2 hit, you think like, hey, shit couldn't get any worse, right? Wrong, nigga. This is what the Beast Titan introduced, and folks was not playing with them. First off, this nigga's talking like he a regular nigga. Imagine you on the outside the walls mission, and somebody started talking to you, and you turn, and there's a Titan right there, and you start looking around like, who said that? He was like, it was me, bro. Oh hell nah. I think this is where folks got fed to that. One of them dudes got fed to that short bus Titan too. You know which Titan I'm talking about. I might be wrong, but I believe around that time is when they discovered that the walls made up of like hardened Titan skin, I think. So they came up with a plan to recapture Eren's home sector and to use him to seal Wall Maria back up. That little part in that abandoned castle was raw sealed too, and we found out that Ymir can turn into a Titan as well. That sequence was fire. We obviously can't forget when Reiner casually told Eren that he was the Armor Titan and Berto was a Colossal Titan too. That whole sequence where they kidnapped him and Ymir was fire. This is also where that crazy shit happened, where that same Titan that killed Eren's mom kills his childhood best friend right in front of him. This is also when Mikasa started confessing her feelings to Eren. Like, damn, folk, read the room, nigga, please. Season 2 was pretty fire overall. We see them start to try to like better their understanding of Titans through research and missions. So we see them actually try to get closer and closer to Eren's main goal, but they didn't realize how much realer this shit can get. And I think that right around the end of season 2, well, you really start to realize that you don't know what's about to happen next in this show. And season 3 definitely has some shit in store for us, gang.
From season 3, definitely Levi versus the Beast Titan. That's one of the best fights in the series by far. So I think that was done pretty well, as like the whole arc of like them introducing the Thunder Spears and taking back Eren's hometown. All of that was good.
Then we have season 3. Season 3 was kind of crazy. So that's when we see Eren get like this hardening power, and he's able to fight Reiner again and actually throw hands. His limbs won't break every time he punch him. He has a better chance at breaking his armor. It was a pretty good fight with Reiner again. They introduced like the Thunder Spears. Those are like exploding rockets that you just lodge into the Titans. They blow up. And that's also where Captain Erwin convinces his whole squad to just go out there and attack. And they all died. Horrifying deaths by large rocks from the Beast Titan, aka Shohei Ohtani. He lined their ass up. Something crazy with the rocks. Absolutely destroyed them. Also, one of my favorite parts of season 3 was when Kenny came to town to attack Levi. That chase scene was so crazy. Emotion was crazy. He screamed. That shit was so wrong. And also, this is where I believe Levi absolutely dismantles the Beast Titan, if I'm not mistaken. That was one of the craziest scenes in the show. That nigga Levi's a dog, certified. We already knew he was going from the other few seasons, but he's a certified dog. Easily my favorite character in the show.
Now, season 3 at the beginning was a little bit of dry. It was kind of dry. I like they introduced Kenny. He was an interesting character, but we learned a lot of information in season 3. We got to talk about the founding Titan. We got to talk about just the history of the royal family and shit like that, and how they kept the founding Titans just secret and, you know, within their family type shit. It was a really slow first half, but then they picked it up in the second half of the season 3 when they, you know, they had to go retake the wall and retake that first part of the wall. So they had to go all the way to the original wall. They had to fight Zeke, Reiner, and Berto all at the same time, along with Zeke's little motherfucking minion army. He had a whole, you know, crescent moon of minion fucking Titans around that bitch. And it was just, they had a whole hell of a fight. Plus, on top of the fact that they didn't even know where Reiner and Berto were at first, because them niggas was just hiding in the walls, just, you know, camping on some pussy shit. So that was pretty good. Really good fight. Like, the whole scout regiment got fucking decimated by Zeke. Like, absolutely decimated. My boy Erwin gave one of the best speeches ever that convinced an entire army of people to charge into their deaths. I don't know how the fuck he managed to do that shit, but he did. So he's kind of raw for that. I ain't even gonna lie, because I don't know how the fuck he convinced them niggas. And all this, while this is going on, Levi, you know, flanking around just to beat the absolute fuck out of the Beast Titan. That shit was great. And that was one of probably the best fight scenes in the show, was Levi versus the Beast Titan that first time. That was hands down well animated, lovely. He like whooped his fucking ass, and we really got to show. That was like the first time that we really saw what Levi can do, and like his true powers when he like actually is trying. And he just, it wasn't even a fucking fight. Like, he slaughtered that nigga. Finished that, you know, we get the Cart Titan showing up, grab Zeke, and they retreat. And they go back. Berto gets fucked up. They end up having to make a decision between Armin and Erwin, you know, trying to see who's gonna get the Colossal Titan powers. Now, I personally don't like the decision that they went with Armin, because he a little bitch. I ain't gonna lie. His big ass Colossal Titan ass nigga got his ass beat by Eren. You this big ass strong. They call you the Titan of Destruction, and you just, I don't know. Armin just be a little bitch to me so much. So I wish that they gave it to Erwin, because I feel like the amount of damage that he could have done with that motherfucking Titan, if he can just I could just see him just nuking motherfuckers just cause.
Season 3 is where this show gets really information heavy, and they start to slow the story down a tiny bit, but it was still really good. Shit. Matter of fact, it was so good that me and Matthew watched this entire thing in one day, which is insane work now that I think about that shit. But this is the season where they overthrow the corrupt ass leadership. We get to learn more about the Titans and the Titan shifters and how they actually work. We learn that Historia is the heir to the throne, and we found out that her and her family have a really deep connection to Eren and his dad. This part was kind of annoying for the first time. I'm not gonna lie, it made me not like Historia, because it took her a little too long to say like, hell no, if you know what I mean. When she was told to eat that nigga Eren, I don't know. Maybe I'm just tweaking, but that hell no didn't come out fast enough. She was really hesitant about that shit. I almost forgot the Kenny versus Levi, which was a golden fight, and Small, one of the funniest memes I ever seen. When God kick you out of heaven because you say he can't beat Goku, like that meme funny as hell. I don't know about the Ackermans was cool as hell too. Kenny giving Levi that Titan serum was a really important moment too. I forgot about that. The actual battle to seal up Wall Maria was fire too, and to take back Eren's hometown. We got to see Eren literally shit on Reiner. And we got to see Zeke out there throwing fucking World Series pitches. Them damn boulders gay. I mean, no curveball, no changeup, nothing but fucking gas. We see Erwin dress up that I ain't gonna cap to y'all. We about to die something spectacular for that. Damn near is the best speech in all the anime. Because this nigga convinced niggas to die. Just straight up. And we got to see Levi absolutely piss on the Beast Titan. Like, it was wild. This shit was me versus Slump on COD. This shit was me versus Derrick Henry in the open field. This was goddamn Hasbulla versus Bobby Lashley in the street fight. Like, this was my router versus that Big Blanks nigga that booted me in Black Ops 4. This was a complete massacre, nigga. Armin's sacrifice was pretty cool in hindsight. I'm not gonna lie. That shit was pretty funny. The first time I saw that nigga burnt up, folks was looking like that code that Sonic go put in your stocking if you don't like and subscribe. Nah, I'm just playing. Nah, I'm dead ass. Hit that sub button, dude. The ending was pretty emotional because Levi had to make one hell of a decision. I'm not gonna lie. Now, at this point, we've gone from Eren hating all Titans to him and his best friend being two of the most important ones, which is crazy as hell to think about. While they're still learning more about the Titans as well, because they still don't know that much. Shit gets crazy with the information after this, because we found out about Eren's dad and Marley. Gang, the way that they wrote this and how all this shit connecting back is wild as hell. So first off, they revealed that Eldian people were turned into Titans in general. Just turned into Titans straight up. We found out that Eren's dad had another kid, which was the Beast Titan, making Zeke Eren's brother. Zeke's mother is the same exact Titan that killed his childhood best friend and his mom. This just gives us hella information here. It's crazy. And there was another beautiful ass moment at the end where Armin finally seeing the ocean, because that was one of his goals. And Armin just sitting over there soaking in the sights, and Eren just looking out in the sea like fucking Melly.
Block you on Instagram. Bitch, you got a Facebook. I'm coming. That was me. That was my bad. I swear to God, that was me.
Just looking crazy out like all mobs gonna die type shit. He let us know that the block was gonna be hot very soon for them niggas. Season 3 was probably my favorite story-wise because it tied all the mystery of the Titans. It tied all that together, and like Eren's story, it's tied everything together, which is crazy. Although this was the most informational heavy season, it's between this one and Season 4 Part 1 were probably the seasons I enjoyed the most personally.
For season 4, I'd probably say definitely when Eren attacked Marley. That was some pretty good shit over there. When he dolphin dove that audience and he just got to beating the shit out of everybody. He beat the shit out of Warhammer Titan, the Jaw Titan. Everybody got fucking shit on over there. So that was a good ass moment. The later part of season 4, I'd probably say Hanji's death hit like hard for me. I don't know why. Like, and I read the manga too. I knew that moment was coming. It's just like seeing it animated, and then the way that like they did the music and everything like that shit just hit different. I don't know. And then also at the end, like where they were fighting on top of Eren's back against the past 9 Titans, like that whole like fight scene and choreography, everything was goated with that.
Season 4, man. This where we see Eren, where he solidified himself into the Black Air Force community before he turned into a hoe and got himself kicked out. We see him beat up Armin horribly, talk shit to Mikasa. We see Eren elbow drop this stadium, which is probably one of my favorite scenes in the show. That shit was funny as hell. He people's elbows, them stands, them people on it. Shit was funny as hell. We see Eren's like true Titan powers, how he can control the Titans through time, going back in time, controlling shit. Like it's so much from season 4. It's insane. What he's been doing throughout the show, all the undertones and connections from things that happened in season 1 through 3 that he was a part of. Like, it showed everything. And I loved it.
Season 4, we get to the Marley continent, and this is where Eren is just hiding, chilling, whatever, cool. All of a sudden, the Tiber, head of the family, head of Marley, he's like, oh yeah, we finna go to war with Paradise Island. We finna go fuck them niggas up. Eren is below the stage this whole time, like, oh yeah? I bet. Transforms, right in front of everybody, his ass bust through that motherfucking stage. He smoked the fucking Tiber head of the fucking Marley country, kills that nigga's beating his fucking ass. Then he goes over to the stands and he's fucking people elbow them motherfuckers and start beating their ass too. Like, they literally pan back to this nigga and he is still like just punching the fucking ground where these stands used to be, just beating the absolute fuck out of these people. That shit was so satisfying. I'm not gonna lie. Like, that just display of utter black force was that shit was fucking great. The Warhammer Titan transformation, he fucking, I ain't gonna cap, he was a savage the whole season 4. This is where Eren became my favorite character, because he just the utter savagery and the I don't give a fuck type mentality. He beat the absolute shit out of the Warhammer Titan when they were transforming, just broke the fucking rule of anime, just disrupted that transformation and just started beating the Warhammer Titan's ass, unplugged her ass, and used her homie to fucking drink her stupid ass, got her power, cool. Annoying part of season 4, Gabby ass, I really hate her, probably my most hated character in this damn show. Shoot Sasha somehow, fucking she was annoying as fuck. Reiner's acting like a bitch this whole time. Zeke beat Levi's ass again. No, Levi beat Zeke's ass again. My fault, got that shit the wrong way. The car titan got her ass beat. The motherfuckers on her back got fucking shit on. Armin nuked an entire naval fleet in the fucking water. That was funny as fuck. That shit was so fucking funny. So fast forward a little bit, they back on Paradise now. They have another fight, Zeke versus Levi, and Levi beats his ass again. This is just like the most one-sided series of fights ever. Levi keeps beating the absolute dog shit out of Zeke, and it is just, I love it. I love those fights. I love them. Fast forward a little bit more. Another thing I didn't really like, once Eren started the rumbling and he really was trying to just decimate the entire world, Mikasa, Armin, and some of the other people who didn't agree with the Jaegerists, they went and started killing their own peoples. That shit was so fucking stupid to me, because how you gonna sit there and try to kill your own peoples? You've been fighting for freedom for your whole fucking life, and now that Eren is going to go kill your fucking oppressors, I mean, along with the rest of the fucking world, which, okay, I kind of understand. But why are you going to kill your homies who have been through this oppression with you this entire time, and you are going to go kill them too, just to try to stop Eren from stomping out the entire world? I get it. Lives matter, cool. It's anime. I really don't give a fuck. I want that nigga to just decimate everything. Like, the whole world has oppressed the Eldians for way too long, and I'm just here for all that smoke. So that shit was kind of stupid, how they were willing to fucking kill their own people just to save random motherfuckers that they didn't even fucking know. But whatever. I ain't gonna lie, something else funny. Eren brainwashing his father to accomplish his goals and to get him to be the Attack and the Founding Titan. Like, that type of manipulation, to get manipulated by your son that is younger than you from the fucking future. That his dad got fucking shit on. Eren is just that nigga. Hanji dying, that was a pretty epic scene. I fucked with that, even though a lot of people liked Hanji, but she had a good scene to go out on. I think it was very momentous type shit, very well animated. Loved that episode, that hour special. And then the whole fight just versus Eren at the end of season 4. I don't even remember if I mentioned season 4, that I was starting on season 4, but you know, obviously I've been talking about it for long enough. Yeah, Eren having the power to summon any fucking shifter from history is just the most broken shit I've ever fucking heard of. The fact that Marley has been on top for all these years. They had like, what, 4 titans, some shit like that, 4 or 5 titans in their possession, right? Paradise was just some absolute fucking shitters until season 4, and where they actually learned how to fight and actually kind of defeated Marley in a show of force on their own land as well. These niggas who struggled against Marley, who was this powerhouse, all of a sudden they're gonna go fight Eren by themselves, who can summon any fucking shifter from throughout history. I just don't understand how the fuck that, I don't know how you defeat that, but somehow they managed to do that. I get Armin nuking, you know, Eren's whole big colossal form, cool, I get that, but the amount of just power and brokenness that Eren has, he should not fucking have lost that fight. I'm sorry, he just should not have lost that fight, straight up. But he did end up stomping out 80% of the world, so I give him that. He did a pretty good job with it. He didn't get 100%, cool, but 80%, I'll take it. But the end of season 4, the final episode that just came out about a week ago, Eren kind of pissed me off at the end of that shit, because he just started crying and acting like a little bitch, man, because he started crying like, I don't want Mikasa to have anybody but me. I want her to see this memory of me from us living in a peaceful time, this and that. We got our own house. And it was just like, Eren just turned from the most demonic black force and did a total 360 and just turned into the most pussy whip nigga that I have ever seen in the fucking show. It was just the biggest fucking 180 that I have ever seen in my life, and yeah, fuck that shit. So that's kind of my overall thoughts.
そのために来たんだろう。
ああ、言ったっけ、そんなこと。
Season 4. The first part of season 4 slapped. I'm not gonna lie, gang. This was where this bitch reached maximum jukic. This was master prestige level of treacherous, but it wasn't treacherous for Eldians no more. Nah, nigga. It was treacherous for Marley ass. This is where we got to see Eren at his absolute best. The invasion of Marley was probably my favorite moment in the show, besides seeing the Titans actually running in various odd ways. Oh, nah. From Eren sitting in front of Reiner and having that nigga shaking in his britches, to him interrupting that little play and demonstration and completely smoking all them niggas in them stands, and then dolphin diving back in that bitch to make sure they were dead, to him breaking anime rule number 15 and yanker doodling the Warhammer Titan shit mid-transformation and using the Jaw Titan as an oversized Christmas nutcracker. Eren was on some shit this season, and it didn't stop there. Season 4 part 2, I'm not gonna lie, it's probably where the story started going down for me personally, but I would definitely be capping if I said this ain't had one of the coolest plot twists in anime history. Found out that Eren is fucking Jesus in the flesh was funny as hell, and seeing him stand there behind his dad, convincing him to kill the royal family and steal their Titan power was grade A comedy, I'm not gonna lie. But this is also cool to see that he kind of knows all because time isn't broken in the past, present, and future. When you had a Fountain Titan's power, they just all exist in one like realm essentially. And we find out that Eren's basically playing everything, which is really cool. But like I said, this is where the story started getting kind of questionable in my opinion. The last 2 parts of the finale were hard, don't get me wrong, but man, I'm not gonna lie, probably gonna get hate for this, but I don't give a damn, bro. I did not like the way they handled the story in the last parts of this show. Don't get me wrong, these last 2 parts have created some godlike moments, like, you know, Hanji's sacrifice, and the whole final fight was like really cool and it looked really good. But gang, ever since Mikasa and Armin started killing their old comrades and friends and teamed up with the ops that literally killed their loved ones and oppressed them for years to stop Eren, I was like, yeah, I don't like where this is going. Don't get me wrong, all the fighting was raw, and it's definitely a bunch of godlike action and really cool set pieces in it. But man, the story here just plummets in my opinion. Them stopping Eren wasn't very realistic to begin with, and I ain't really fuck with that at all. But hey, that's neither here nor there. I don't want to nitpick too much, but everything after they cut Eren's head off just made it worse to my opinion. Mikasa kissing his dead head is still insane to me. The whole thing where Armin tells Eren that Mikasa's gonna find a better guy, and then they cut back to Eren just suddenly breaking down and crying and talk about how much they're hurting, was way worse than I thought it was gonna be. For I already knew it was gonna happen because my homie Chris told me that, but it's just not cohesive with the rest of his character at all. And I know Eren's been a very emotional dude in the past. We've seen glimpses of it, and you would think that would make this make sense, but I would agree with you, but he hasn't really shown any resemblance of romantic interest in Mikasa this entire series. Like, don't get me confused. Eren has been hysterical and irrational in certain situations, but those have been when he either is facing damn near certain death or when he has to do something that was against his goal and his mission. I don't have a problem with romance no more in anime. Hell, at this point, I'd watch High School Girl, Your Name, What's Wrong With You, Silent Voice, and Horimiya. I actually enjoy romance anime at this point. I just don't enjoy niggas embarrassing themselves for the sake of it, if that makes sense. So let's compare this to Yusuke and Yu Yu Hakusho. Because remember how before he went to the demon realm to train, Keiko was talking about like moving on, and Yusuke was down there making a fool of himself, like pursuing her and making himself look goofy and shit, trying to make her laugh and shit. Although, I was watching this shit like, damn, they really making my boy look bad. I ended up being cool with it because Keiko has been his girl for essentially the whole show, and it was pretty obvious that she was his interest type shit. She was the only girl that showed interest because she was the only person that didn't really give up on him and care for him. That's what made that somewhat okay in my book. This wasn't the case for Eren and Mikasa. Yes, Mikasa was always supporting him and she didn't even want to kill him, even though he killed 80% of the population. But Eren has shown no interest into her until this very moment. When I tell you this shit was super hard to watch, and what made it worse is none of this shit ended up mattering. Marley is still racist, gang. You think that little Armin little talk about them not using their Titan powers to defend themselves was enough for them to back up off of 100 years of elitism that they've been living through? Like, nigga, hell no. It's like real racism. As the shit gets passed down from generation to generation, the people that are racist might just be pussy and don't say it out loud, but that don't mean it ain't there, gang. And at the very end, what blew me the most, alright, let's break this down. So at the end of the manga, there was panels of blimps approaching the island in the future as if they were gonna get attacked. Side note, I'm an anime only. My homie Chris, aka Josh and Matthew's brother, told me about it since I didn't want to wait years to be disappointed by an ass ending. So shout out to Chris, by the way. And this ending was probably asser than he said it would be. And I came in expecting bullshit, and I got even more bullshit. So shout out to Chris for letting me know in advance and I didn't get disappointed and my heart broken. But in the credit sequence, they showing the city growing and becoming a more advanced civilization, and we like, yo, these niggas living good lives for they progressing. This whole time in my head, I'm like, Mappa, please don't show them nuking the city. And guess what they showed? They showed them niggas nuking the city.
It's not over? Bad Mappa! Not a nuke? Bad Mappa!
Oh!
Bro, that is the worst thing they could have did.
This blew the hell out of me, dog. Listen, I get that this is supposed to symbolize never-ending cycles of war, but the thing is, it just makes this whole amazing-ass journey feel extremely insignificant. And it disproves Armin's little hope of saying, like, remember he said in the final part, he was like, we're just gonna hope that one day we can all, like, understand each other and live and coexist type shit, out the window completely. If you had to keep Eren losing as the ending, I'd rather you take the rest of that out personally. But even with me thinking that the ending is complete ass, I must give props to the author. Still, for full Syndicate, it was ass to me, but hey, at least you ended it. A lot of animes really don't have proper endings like that, so at least you did end it.
So going into the story, honestly, I think this story is one of the best stories, like, for action shows, if not the best. Like, it's crazy how this show was able to, like, make callbacks to details and shit that they mentioned in season 1 that, like, you didn't even think was going to be an important detail, and then they call back to it, like, at the end of season 4. You just sitting there like, damn, what the fuck? This story's planned out so well. It feels like the author, he had the story completed, like, as soon as chapter 1 dropped. Like, that shit was just goated. I don't know. If I had to say something I didn't like about the story, I don't like how they did Eren's character, like, right at the end. Like, it seemed like they were making Eren a villain and shit, and just like a pure menace, just trying to wipe out all of humanity outside of the walls. But like, when he died, it was like, okay, now they trying to, like, give him emotions and shit, and talking about how he wanted Mikasa to only love him for, like, the next 10 years and shit after he died. Like, all that shit was just, like, way out of place, because we've never seen Eren be that emotional and that vulnerable. Like, he's always been like a hothead and wanted freedom. So it's like, just seeing that switch just felt out of place for me. I don't know.
Overview of the story in general. Attack on Titan is a show that has a lot of depth, and I will give them credit for their story because it has a lot of depth, a lot of things that you did not see coming, a lot of just things you don't expect, a lot of plot turns, plot twists, details about the abilities of each Titan and just their looks and how they differentiate from the other Titans, and just the shifters throughout history and how they affect each other. It's a real deep story. Another thing about the story that a lot of people probably don't pick up on is it's more of a political aspect with it, because the way that the Eldians are oppressed throughout the entire show is indicative of something that we have seen in real life. The Eldian population is oppressed on the country of Marley, like they're sectioned off and kept within this gate type of zone. And you know, they control everything. Marley controls everything. The food, water, you going in and out, like you have to have a pass, like all types of things like this. And this is really a political undertone that plays directly into how conditions are currently in the Israel and Palestinian fight. So the way that Marleyans oppress Eldians is exactly the same way that the country of Israel oppress Palestinians. The exact same way. The Gaza Strip is a bordered wall that people are kept there, and the state of Israel controls everything. Their water, their electricity, everything that goes in and out, the people that goes in and out. You have to have certain passes and you know, legit ways to actually pass through the border of it to go to work or whatever, just to legitimately be able to do that. Is the exact same way that this goes down in Attack on Titan. So that kind of political undertones, when I watch it with somebody, I tell them like, oh yeah, these conditions that you are seeing right now, and this treatment of these people overall, the condemnation of it, the calling them devils, calling them, is the exact same way that they call Palestinians and Arabs terrorists and just bad people. They like to blow things up. It's the same thing, just, you know, in an anime version instead of it happening in real life. So I like that, because it made me kind of think about real life, how people are genuinely oppressed in these ways. It's really messed up, but I really love how they actually, I don't know if they intentionally did that, but it's just showing how history has actually happened and how people are genuinely treated in the world. One thing I didn't like at the end of the story, I'll say this to cover, you know, cut off the overview of the story part. I don't like how they made Eren be able to control the Titans throughout history, because they said that Eren was able to control the Titan that ate his mom and sent the Titan after his mom instead of Berto, because Berto was in the area. I don't really like that because it just kind of makes things like confusing. It's just like weird. Like you can control Titans throughout any time of history, any Titan from any time of history. Like it's kind of like, what? So is this just a founding Titan thing, or is it like a you know Ymir thing? Like can all the other previous founders also do this? The ones that actually had the royal blood and can actually control the founding Titan, could they do that as well? Can they all just, everybody who's a founding Titan can just fucking control anyone throughout history? Because I don't know, it seems really just like it's just a confusing element. So that's my overall opinion on the story. Overall, very, very good. Couple of things here and there that I didn't like that I talked about through my seasons recaps and just the overview of the story.
漢字に託せ。お荷物抱えるのは真っ平だ。
Like I said, although the ending was bad in my opinion, I'm not gonna sit here and cap like it ruined the entire show for me. Attack on Titan is still an amazing ass show, regardless of how I feel about its conclusion. It's full of golden ass moments, folks. And I pretty much got everything I wanted out of this bitch, folks. I laughed, I got a bunch of action, I got good and bad memories of it that'll stay with me for a long ass time. Attack on Titan is an unforgettable show that had a crazy ass run. Crazy to think that I dropped this the first time I watched it. I'm glad I stopped tweaking. I still love it at the end of the day. I'm thankful to the manga author regardless of the ending. I still thank you for giving us some legendary shit for sure. Don't tweak, this bitch still heat. So if you haven't watched this, you definitely need to go watch this now. Now, let's move on to characters and character interactions. AOT definitely did not cut corners when it came to the characters, gang. It's some really cool niggas in this show. So let's talk about a few of them.
My favorite characters for this show, definitely Eren. You know, I fuck with that Black Force energy. You know, fuck everybody in this bitch. Levi is definitely raw as hell, but Levi's kind of like a fan favorite. Honestly, Zeke is like pretty cool, just cause like half the time you didn't even really know what like all that he could do or like all what he wanted to do. Like he was just like such a mysterious component of the show. Also being Eren's brother, and like I think he's just a dope ass character, and he be shitting on the other 9 Titans too. And honestly, Reiner, this is gonna be like a sleeper pick, but I think Reiner is definitely like a good ass character. Like his character development from like when we actually learned that he was an armor Titan, it was like, okay, this nigga's like dickhead, like he's trying to destroy the walls and shit. And you actually see like the trauma that he went through and how he like grew as a character to ended up saving the entire world. Like just watching Reiner's character is pretty cool.
As I said earlier, like my favorite character is definitely Levi. Black Air Force Arrow is one of them, but not no more. Definitely Levi, and Commander Erwin was cold. I ain't gonna lie, to convince all your homies to go out there and die like that was just insane. He was also one of my favorite characters.
As far as my favorite characters go, Levi, I think, is my ultimate favorite character of this show. He's just the rawest nigga in the show. Is just, I always tend to go with niggas who are just raw. Like I fuck with that. His show of skill, he just be shitting on niggas. He raw as fuck. I can't really say nothing else about it. And then season 4 Eren. Until the end, of course, until the like last 30 minutes of the episode. Season 4 Eren was just peak. I loved it. He was just this utter force of demonic black energy, and I tend to love that shit in characters sometimes. Like they just don't give a fuck. They have the most savage mentality, and I really fucked with that shit. He beat everybody's ass possible in season 4. Anybody who wanted smoke, who was on the Marley Island, who was his ops, he went to go smoke that shit. Like he ain't had no problem doing that whatsoever. He was like, yeah, cool, you could get it too. Fuck you talking about Warhammer Titan? Fuck your motherfucking transformation, bitch. Beat her ass. Like he literally had the smoke for any and everybody. He literally transformed in front of Falco and Reiner had to protect that nigga. I don't give no fuck about this kid. Transform, like he just didn't give a fuck. He was just an utter black force, and I love that shit.
そうだな。俺がまだ。
Eren was really that nigga before the bullshit. Eren really is the only nigga that I've seen in anime become a hero, an anti-hero, an antagonist, a protagonist. He was the conflict and the solution. And what makes it super impressive is the fact that it was all explained pretty well and it all made a bunch of sense. There hasn't been many anime characters with writing as good as him for the most part. We've seen a crazy ass amount of development from him, and unfortunately some regression from my nigga, but he's still a great character. It's crazy to think about his goal in the beginning. there was literally no way to know that this was going to be the journey he's going to end up on to achieve it type shit. He probably has one of the most insane MC journeys in all of anime. And honestly, I love the savage that it turned him into. That's why what they did to him in the end hurt so much, because Eren was such a savage. I enjoy Black Force shit in anime, and man, Eren definitely gave us a lot of it. Even besides the Black Force shit, he's still a great character. I can only imagine what could have been going through this nigga head living in a world with a situation like this. He's pretty composed considering that his scenario. He raw just for that. Cause I probably would have joined folks that up there Yom Skippity put it in his mouth and kablooey his shit. I would have did the same thing. But Eren stayed solid and he achieved his goal in the end. And even though it made him look like a lame, Eren is still one of the best written anime characters ever, easily.
そんなに寝ぼけるまで熟睡してたの？
Mikasa's a really cool character too. As far as female characters in anime, she's definitely amongst the coolest. She's a pretty static character throughout the entirety of the series, and she only cared about one thing more than everything else, and that was Eren. Her loyalty to Eren was undeniable, and damn, it was unhealthy. They did her dirty too, in more than one way. First off, Mappa made her ass look like Kyle Korver in the face. Her ass looked like Steve Nash. Her ass looked like Joe Burrow. Her ass looked like Tony Hawk. Bogus ass, man. Her ass looked like she had to watch this dude she loved since she was a kid turn into an absolute demon. She didn't have to hear this nigga tell her that he hated her since they were kids. And what makes all this worse, she literally had to kill this nigga and she never got over the nigga. So the rest of her life was probably filled with horrible trauma and regret. And she still had that musty ass scarf on when she died. It definitely was not a happy ending for her at all. I still enjoy her character a lot, and I'm glad she played such a pivotal role in the story. I'm not gonna lie. Mikasa's a really good character. It's a pretty funny and petty reason why I dropped Attack on Titan the first time, and that's because of this nigga Armin, bro. I really hated this nigga at first. It was a battle of Trost, and I think it was a little bit after Eren got eaten by that first Titan, and Armin was just sitting there crying, essentially like just waiting to get shit on. And I was like, yo, this nigga a bitch. At this point, I'm probably like the most impatient and unreasonable anime watcher available. So this pissed me off so much to the point where I just stopped watching this show altogether. I remember Matthew was like, you need to pick up Attack on Titan again. It's really good. I was like, nah, that shit ass. All because Armin was being a bitch. Like, that's literally why I dropped the show. After I started it again, I realized that he actually is one of the better characters in the show. That was a major problem in his character in general. He definitely had a hard time keeping it together in these really bad situations in the beginning, and I don't blame him no more, because Attack on Titan is an ass place to live in. But that turned around, like he started to tighten up really fast after that. And before I knew it, this nigga was Commander Erwin's replacement. So I like what they ended up doing with folks. I wouldn't have made it that far. I'm just say that. Levi was raw as hell, plain and simple. He probably the coolest nigga in the Survey Corps. He definitely stole the show whenever the moment called for it, or whenever that nigga Zeke was on the screen. Cause one thing Levi gonna do is smoke Zeke. That's one thing that nigga gonna do.
I've already came in for...
As far as I know, I'm pretty sure Folks is the most level-headed and mentally strong person in the show. It's probably due to all that time working under Erwin. We rarely see Levi get phased or show any kind of emotion like that. We only see Levi get emotional during the really important moments, like when he gave the serum to Armin, when he had to make that decision between Armin and Erwin, and when Hanji sacrificed herself. Outside of Eren, Levi is definitely my favorite character in the show. He has that balance. Eren be over there like, all my ops gonna die viciously, and he's straight up like hothead, but like Levi be like, yeah, fuck the ops, but let's be smart about this, gang. They did Folks kind of dirty too. They had my nigga Levi looking pathetic at the end of the show. Folks was looking war-torn and traumatized, and it looked like the rest of his time was like damn near miserable. I ain't gonna lie, my boy deserved way better than what he ended up as. But shout out to Levi though, folks. He was raw as hell. Pretty much every character in AOT is solid in my opinion. There's a lot of good characters in this show. You got John, Connie, Sasha, Erwin, Hanji, and a bunch more and they didn't really treat them like throwaways. Like, these characters are people that we actually care about and with conflicts that are actually explored and highlighted. And honestly, like, people hate Gabby, but it's what she was taught type shit. I can't really be too mad at Gabby. Yeah, she did some horrible shit and she killed Sasha, and you know, fuck her. For real. But like, that's what she was taught, and those are her ops, so it is what it is. Attack on Titan did a phenomenal job on this character, plain and simple. Now, Let's move on to looks, presentation, and music. Shout out to the animators at Wood Studio and Mappa for making this show look as good as it does, gang. The battles in this show look amazing, and they feel as grand as they look. The animation is smooth as hell, and it's rarely any time I watch this show and I thought something looked like ass, or I thought something looked off or lazy. This was an extremely polished show. All the visual and audio elements work together very well. The CG in the fight scenes look really good. I remember they started using CG for like Reiner as the Armor Titan. It looked perfectly fine. The switch was like really like natural and shit. Like I really didn't notice anything off about it. All of these visual audio elements work together to create something extremely memorable, and I'm really glad for the work that these people put in this. All the animators, the music's great in this show as well. It's a really like eerie type of music most of the time, but that matches the tone of the show because these niggas are pretty much always in a crisis. But they all work together so well. The first intro and the Romulan song are just goated intros. Everything just looked and sounded good about Attack on Titan. Like they really did an amazing job on this. I can't stress that enough. Once again, shout out to all the animators at Wood Studio and Mappa for making this look as good as it does. It's really amazing.
Going into looks, presentations, and music, I ain't gonna lie, I don't got nothing bad to say about this. All that's just goated, you know. It's Wood Studio, they started off, their visuals wasn't missing, you know, they had the good audio, everything. They didn't really use 3D as much, like Wood Studio used 3D with like the Colossal Titan, but it wasn't like a big part of the show. I think Mappa's art style like really fit for like how season 4 was going. Like season 4 was like very dark, and like the way that they depicted characters and shit in season 4, like it was like the whole art and everything was just completely different, but it fit so well. I also think that they like just use their 3D resources like very well when it comes to like animating the Titans. Like it didn't feel out of place. It just looked so natural on top of having the 2D like regular character models. Like it I don't know how the fuck they did that shit, but that shit looked good. The OSTs, music, everything was goated. You know, they had a wider variety. They had like more upbeat songs, like fucking Barricades. You got like sad songs, like choir songs, action songs. Like they literally had everything. So yeah, I definitely think they hit on all looks, presentations, and music.
But the looks of the show was crazy. Season 1 through 3 was good. Season 4 was good when Mappa took over. Everything looked great. The music was on point.
As far as looks, presentation, and music, the presentation of the show overall, like the animation of it, I think the color schemes of it are very dull and boring. But I think that is indicative of the times that they were living in. Like it seems like a prehistoric, like pre-industrialized type of world. So it kind of makes sense. That anime in general, presentation wise, isn't as vibrant as other ones. So that's pro and a con if you know, think about the times and it being realistic, like, you know, cool. But if you just like more of a vibrant type of look to it, then, you know, you can take it how you like it. But the looks in general, the animation is done very well. I think that season 1, 2, and 3 were pretty good, but season 4 they really stepped it up because Mappa started animating it, and of course everybody knows Mappa's a great animation studio. So they did kind of change it a little bit. Like they made a couple of people look weird. Like I know Mikasa kind of looked more weird, looked more kind of manly-ish. Reiner looked a little bit different. Zeke looked kind of different. So like the faces of the characters looked a little bit different in season 4 because they switched to a new animation studio. But I think overall the quality of animation stepped up because they switched to Mappa, especially in the special episodes. The first 1 hour episode and the most recent one, the 1.5 hour episode, that animation quality really came out. Just Mappa just really showed what they could do and why they are known for what they're known for, being Mappa. So that was fantastic. Loved the overall animation of it. As far as the music goes, the music was very good. I really liked the music from a lot of the Levi versus Zeke scenes were pretty good. I remember I have pretty fond memories of those, but overall just the triumphant type of battle music that they played in a lot of the scenes, like the Battle of Trost and like the fight on Marley, like things like that. It was pretty good. I really like the music. I think it fit especially the intense moments. It really fit well in the with the show. So I really like how they did the music overall. So
my outro, like kind of overall thoughts for the show, like I said, I'm biased. You know, this is my number 2 anime like on my entire like lists. So I definitely got a lot of good to say about it. It's definitely like one of the best stories, if not the best story I've ever experienced in anime. It's just, yeah, I don't know. If I had the chance to like experience this all again for the first time, like just fresh, rewatching the entire anime, I'd do it again in a heartbeat. Like I really want to like get that raw reaction out of me again. That would be like so dope. So definitely, if you haven't checked out this anime, go check it out. You need to. This shit is goated.
My final thoughts on the show. I mean, they could have ended it better, but I'm not gonna harp on it because I know Vaughn about to do that already. And I ain't about to add no more time when that ended. Besides, like, it could have ended it better, in my opinion. More so on Aaron's side, because Aaron had too much firepower on his side to lose that, in my opinion. But hey, it is what it is. They ended a S tier show. They at least they ended it right. Most shows get canceled or something crazy. So like I said, Attack on Titan is still an S tier show in my opinion. And it wasn't the best, but hey, what are you gonna do?
Final thoughts on the show. I think that AOT is a great show. I think that I was sleep on it for not originally starting it and kind of making that inference that I wasn't gonna like it just because of the looks of the Titans being naked, running around looking stupid. But overall, I am very glad that I watched this show. It is a very good show with, of course, ups and downs, just like pretty much any show. I wish that they did end it a little bit better and like kept Eren as like that kind of demonic black force type of energy and not really turn him into like a little soft, little sissy type of bitch motherfucker. But you know, you can't have everything. I think that I am satisfied with him stomping out 80% of the world. I'm not satisfied with the fact that they ended up beating Eren, because I think that he was built up to be so overpowered, to have so many Titans, everything. Like, how can you sit here and struggle with the likes of Marley and these people who are infiltrating your country, and then Eren, who has millions of colossal Titans, along with the ability to use any Titan from the Shifter history, and Eren's still losing? Like, I just feel like that's like, come on, bro. Like, I don't know. Eren should have literally wiped the floor with him, but at the same time, he also wasn't really trying to like hurt his people. So I get it. Like he said he literally summoned to that tree path sand place and was like, look, I ain't gonna, you know, try to stop y'all. Y'all have the free will to do whatever you want to do. You're free. You're Eldian now. You are just free to do whatever you want. I will not stop you as, you know, Eren, whatever. I think I didn't really like how he lost it. I wish that he, you know, achieved his goal, but it's cool, whatever. It had a little bit more depth to it. I like the depth to it overall, and it was a great show for real. I'm sad to see that it's over, but I'm glad to see that it's over because, you know, they were dragging that shit the fuck out. So I'm really glad that it's over for real, and I will enjoy rewatching this in the future. And I would recommend this show genuinely to other people that have not seen the show before, people that are new to anime, all that stuff. I think that overall Attack on Titan is a great watch. I would give it a solid 8.5 out of 10. Yeah, 8.5 out of 10 is my rating. I love the show. But yeah, appreciate it. Peace. Love.
Overall, like I said earlier, Attack on Titan is one of the best anime of all time. Plain and simple. Even with that ending, I still think it's up there. And honestly, it deserves a spot up there. I can't even cap. It gave us a pretty much flawless story with one of the best plot twists in all of anime. It gave us one of the best main characters ever, if you pretend like the ending doesn't exist like I do. And it has an amazing ass supporting cast. If you haven't given AOT a fair chance yet, please do. I've already expressed that I do not like the ending, but in no way, shape, or form did it ruin the entire show. It's too much good in this show for me to say that it's not worth the watch because it ended poorly. Nah, nigga, go watch this now, damn near. Like, right now. You will love it, I love it, and it may not seem like it, but we're all gonna miss it now that it's gone, 1000%. But that's all from me, man. Hope y'all enjoyed it. It's been fun having the guys on here. Let me know down below if y'all enjoyed it. Thanks for the guys chipping in, as always. Have a great day, man. Love y'all, man. Peace.